Hi crafters, and welcome to Technique of the Week. And we're going to show you today how to get dry embossing results out of your dies. Now I know I did show you previously that Stampin' Up! Currently has two sets, and here I have a lot of junk in here. They have two different sets that have what's called these impression dies. And what happens with these is that you cut with them and then you put the paper, oops, let me get that. Then you put the paper back in there and you make impressions with them. So, and I'll link those videos so you can see what I mean by that. But I think I have a couple examples in here. Those are getting ripped. All right, let me show you what we have here. So here we have so many examples and so many pieces of cardstock in there. All right, so with your impressions plate, you are using your impressions plate, which is this really thick rubber plate, and then you use your plate 4. You'll see here, platform 1, thin die adapter 2, your silicone mat, impressions mat, and your base 4. But let's say you don't have that. I'm going to show you how you can get the same results. So now here's that frame just embossed regular. Can you see that? Is it picking up? It's very light. Here's when you run it through the emboss, that with the impressions plate. So do you see that difference? Here's another example. Here's the Opulent Oasis, where that was run through with that impressions plate and die. All right, so let's say you just have regular old dies though. Let me put this over to the side so we don't lose anything. All right, let's take a regular stamp die set like this one. I'm going to show you examples from this big frame, but we're going to use this one for today's example. Now, I do want to tell you, you're going to get different results if you use the cardstock versus the two-tone cardstock. And the only reason I'm telling you that is that the two-tone has that white core, so sometimes you'll get some of that white showing through, but we'll show you both ways. So when you're using the actual impressions mat, you'll use base 1, thin die adapter 2, your die with your cardstock, and your plate 4, and you run that through. If you don't have this, but you do have our silicone mat, this is what we use to put glue down on, and it, rubs right away. Little thinner, but if you use base 1, you're going to use 2 of the 3 plates. You're going to use this silicone mat, the craft silicone mat, and you're going to use shims. You can either use old pieces, oh, that's not it. I keep picking up the wrong ones. Old pieces of cardstock. Where did I put it? Here. As you can see, these have been run through quite a few times because they are really, or you can use a piece of like postcards you might get in the mail. This is junk mail about pet insurance. This will also work. It's just like a little shim to help get it through. And now you're going to notice when you run it through how it feels. All right, so let's start with this small flower. All right, so we're going to use this one. In the upper right hand corner, we're going to use the sandwich for the impressions mat, impressions plate. They call it a plate. I call it a mat. A plate to me is solid. This is more like a paper plate, china. Anyway, all right. So if we were using the actual impressions mat, you would do 1, 2, your die. Oh, sorry, doing it the wrong way. 1, 2, your silicone mat, your die, and plate 4. Now, they show you here that you can use it plate up like this. I don't like that as much because my plate is so concave, I feel like it moves. But we'll go ahead and we'll do it the way they tell you, and then we'll turn it over to show you the other way. So here's this. You're going to run it through. There is going to be a little resistance, just so you know. And there's with the impressions plate. All right, now let's take this away because you don't have that. Now you're just going to use your silicone mat. So we're going to do platform 1. We're going to do plate. We're going to do this. Again, we'll do it the exact same way where it's facing up. Silicone mat, and then a couple pieces of cardstock just to make it a little more tight going through. Now, if your handle doesn't want to turn, stop. Do not force it. All right. All right. And I might have brought down, since it's on that same piece of cardstock, I might have smashed my impressions, which I did a little bit. But there you can see pretty good results. All right, let me do it on, and I'm going to rip this in half just so I don't run that impressions mat down. All right, again, if you're using the actual impressions plate, you do 1, 2, your material, and then plate 4. So we have 1, 2, impression plate, and 4. Now you hear how that really cracks? You're going to see this on the paper because remember this is two-tone, so it has that white core. So you are going to see some of that white does come up. Now this is just a regular old die. This is not impressions die, so you're not getting that deep, deep impression that you get when you're using an impressions die. This is just a regular old die. All right, so let's say you don't have this. So you're going to do your plate 1, plate 3, silicone mat. And this time I'm going to try the mailer. See, there's not a lot of tension there. You see that? Not a lot of tension. So we're going to bring it up and we're going to see what it looks like. So there you see, that's not very deep. So again, you're going to play with this. So let me grab another. I'm sure I have. Here we go. I knew I had some off to the side here. So let's go ahead, that same one, and we're going to run that through with the 2 pieces of cardstock. And like I said, you're going to have to experiment with what works best for you. But for me, 2 pieces of old cardstock is the way to go. Some of the, I mean, if you get, see, and you can hear that a little bit. If you get like from some of the stamp companies, you'll get like that welcome postcard or that like deals. That will work pretty good. So there you have it with, this is with the little mailer piece. This is with 2 pieces of cardstock. And this is with the impressions mat. No, wait. Yeah, I think. Here, let me rip it off again to show, because now I moved it through. All right, so if we're using the actual impressions, we're doing 1, 2. I'm going to get a bigger piece again. All right, so 1, 2, the die, the cardstock, the impressions plate, and your number 4. Again, there might be just a little bit of resistance. And there you go. So there you have. That is the impressions plate. That is the mat using your layers of cardstock and or mailer. I think this is the impressions mat that got smushed down when we ran it through again. So you can see you can get some good results. Not the same results, but some good results if you have just that silicone mat already in your stash or any kind of silicone mat. All right, let me show you from that same set. Again, remember, these are just regular dies. They are impressions die. So then I also did this, as you can see here, sorry, this is the impressions mat. So it's really, really deep. Here's just a regular, that silicone mat with the plates you already have. So you can see, same great look. This one gets to be a little bit deeper because that rubber is thicker. Same thing here. Impressions mat, silicone mat with the plate you already have. So you can turn any die into dry embossing. You just have to have either the impressions plate and plate 4, because it was new in May, or your silicone mat and the plates 3 that you already have when you bought your machine, and then some extra paper shims. All right, guys. So that's it. That is our technique of the week for this week. Turning any die you have into dry embossing. All right. If you don't mind, give me that thumbs up. Share on your social media. Subscribe if you haven't already. Oh, here's that original one where we press it down. afterwards. All right. Where was I? Subscribe, share, like the video, send me a comment. I'll reply. I reply to all comments as time permits. Most of all, have a great week. Thanks for stopping by. Bye for now.